Yo, what's going on? It's King Steph, and we are back with chapter 187 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Boy, oh boy, we got a lot in this chapter. I just can't wait to get into this. I read this chapter at least 2 or 3 times before I actually got down and ready to record it. But hey, let's just go ahead and get into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like. A whole bunch of JJK content is on this channel, so if you like JJK, hey, we got something in common. Go ahead and subscribe and check out your feed for more content like this. But let's get into the chapter. So Kashimo is in the domain, and the short hit effect of Hakari's domain rules are sent to Kashimo. And unlike Charles, Kashimo picks up on all this info real quick. Now, he was instinctively going to use Hollow Wicker Basket, which, if you don't remember, that's a variation of a simple domain, but it counters domain expansion short hit moves. Now, Hakari received a nice little feat, to be honest, to a certain degree, and that is his short hit effect activates actually faster than Mahito's domain. That's the .2 domain, if we're going to be specific. Even though they're different in domain variations, it's still pretty cool. So Kashimo knew Hakari was going to activate the probability change, and this change exceeds the 20% chance of a jackpot. During this change, though, he's not immortal. And throughout this chapter, it really kind of starts right in this moment. They look like they actually respect one another for, I guess, their own weird reasons. Now, a little bit of banter in between these two, always good to see. A little bit of trash talk, and we just went back to throwing hands. But this time, Kashimo definitely had the upper hand in technique, and even the way he counters some of Hakari's punches and grabbing them, the elbows to the knee and the neck, like the whole thing that Kashimo was doing. He was clearly outclassing him. Because Hakari is more so of a free fighting brawler. He doesn't really have a lot of, pizzazz or technique. He doesn't really do a lot of counters. He's more so just pure force. So it's a cool contrast in styles. But even as Kashimo is hitting Hakari, Hakari just tanks them. Hakari uses a pseudo spin to get a reroll scenario. Last time against Charles, he used the doors and the little shiny balls that he used. And since he hit the jackpot already, it's a much higher hype preview and a much higher chance of a jackpot due to the probability change or increase in terms of the translations you like to use. Also, as they're fighting and Hakari tells them to keep going, I like the pseudo spin effect, or whatever it really is in that domain, with the reflections of their faces, and it's a glimpse into what's happening, and you see the number of which spin he's using. It's really cool. The reach action is activated, and this reach scenario is accidentally on a train. If the character, which by the way that character's name is Kato Sora, makes it to the train station with no problems, Hakari gets the jackpot. And we get a nice badass image of both Hakari and Kashimo fighting while the express signs are breaking. Really nice right there from Gege. Kato gets to the station, and that means Hakari gets the jackpot. He gets triple sixes, which I honestly really hope that's not a bad omen, because that doesn't bode too well in my opinion. Hakari's feeling that jackpot. He says to start the music, but this time Kashimo is rather amused he got the jackpot this time. So Kashimo knows he's in immortal status right now, but this time he says something that is actually more info, I guess, on Hakari's domain, I guess. He says, since Hakari matched even numbers for the jackpot, the next time the 411 is up, the probability change will have ended, and it won't be an immediate jackpot this time. Long story short, his probability of getting a jackpot goes back to square one. So Kashimo says waiting out this 4 minutes and 11 seconds and trying to survive is an option. But fuck that. What's really about to happen is I'm not a small fry. We don't do that. Turn the music up and we about to prepare for your living funeral. In these 4 minutes and 11 seconds, I will slaughter an immortal man. That was just pure badass. I'm sorry. Kashimo is, I'm not gonna lie, he's rising in the ranks. I love this character. Then we get a flashback, or well, a backstory, or more so just looking back into the past. Kenjaku is walking up to an old Kashimo from 400 years ago, asking if he had fun fighting these fodder. And Kashimo says, no, but I should have took the offer of fighting you instead. And then the next panel, we actually get a look at a 400 years ago Ryu Ishigori, as Kenjaku talked about a sorcerer with the greatest curse energy output, and that he's a true cannon. And Ryu is chilling with a woman, smoking a pipe. Even back then, with that wild ass hairline, he still got some sauce. I'll give him that. But I like how the Date domain where Ryu stayed at is actually what's currently Sendai right now in our time. So that's a nice tie-in with Gege and how he kind of put those two together. That was really nice. But we get a look at Kashimo coughing up blood from fighting, or maybe, you know, maybe sickness. He just asks Kenjaku, who's the strongest sorcerer you know? Because I don't have much time to go all the way to Mutsu. Kenjaku says Sukuna, but that was 600 years ago. Because remember, Sukuna was around in his prime 1,000 years ago. So Kashimo accepts Kenjaku's offer that he can challenge Sukuna when they are resurrected. And we get this clean panel of old Kashimo charging his energy. And he looks like a grizzled veteran, man. He reminds me of some of those older, you know, anime senseis. Honestly, he kind of looked like Netero just because of the way his beard looked, because it was kind of patchy. But hey, I'm 10 out of 10 chapter. This was definitely 10 out of 10. Nothing else. I love this. So ending thoughts, man. I already gave my 10 out of 10. I think the Kashimo and Kenjaku stuff at the very end with the 400-year period, I'm so glad we got that. And it's kind of funny because I literally put out the hand era video last week, so it's actually like, huh, that's pretty neat. But I'm liking it. I hope we get more of that lore from back then. I don't know if it's gonna continue into next chapter, but I don't feel like it will. But hey, I will say though, props to Gege, because he's become so good at it, making characters and making us like at least care about these characters, whether it's importance or we just genuinely like them in such a short span of time. Like, we got all of this with Hakari and Kashimo within like 4 or 5 chapters. Like, that's and we're getting more information of just the world and like some of these other characters, how they work. I love that he put Ryu in that spot, because that, in the back of my mind, that kind of was like a, you know, how did Kashimo and Ryu not, you know or like fight each other, since they're basically the 2 strongest sorcerers in the Culling Gates that we've met so far. So you would have thought they would have met each other, especially since they were around the same time. But you know, that's a nice little way he kind of covered that up, and I'm just all for it. Now, I do think, because I thought about this and I kind of saw a panel, I think I know what body Kenjaku has at this current point, and it's just a guess. But I actually think he might have before the Fujiwara clan member. If you remember back when Takako and Yuta were talking, Gege drew in this guy. He had a long ponytail, robe on. You didn't see his face, but that was a Fujiwara clan member that they were talking about. And this, to me, looks like that Fujiwara clan member. Now, kind of leads you to believe that Kenjaku do something to, you know, Yuta's clan back then. Did he have something to do with that? We don't know, but that's kind of my guess as to what body that is. That's the only thing I can really think of. But with Kashimo's fight against Hakari's jackpot right now, and the chances of him winning, I don't know. It's kind of slim, because I mean, a mortal man for 4 minutes, a 4-minute fight, you know, in real life is pretty long. So I don't know. I don't think he could do it, but his ability, I mean, those lightning bolts, I mean, he blow off limbs. So you would think, hey, I shoot one at his head, you know, boom, you might, you know, you can get something going. But yeah, that's one thing I could think of. Can he win against Hakari? I don't even know at this point, because typically after someone gets a little bit of a quote-unquote flashback, normally they're either winning or they're losing. So I don't know. This is one of the most 50-50 fights we've had in Jujutsu Kaisen in a long time. So I just cannot wait till the next chapter. Another banger chapter. Honestly, Gege hasn't missed in a couple years, if we're being honest. Past 2 years, he has not missed really at all. So, hey, once again, Jujutsu Kaisen's on a roll. That was all I got to say about this chapter. Let me know how you feel about it down in the comment section down below. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as well as usual, because always JJK content is going to be on this channel, as well as other newer gen anime and manga. So I'll holler at y'all on the next one. Peace.